Karen? Oh, question. That, yeah. Yes, 11%. I'm sorry. Around to give you all those numbers. I think we did. I did. You email?
You must be on mute.
Okay, so I can email you all.
I am. I might.
Yes. Oh, okay, I didn't know. Yes, sorry.
That. Who's on the iPad?
Hi, Karen. Hi, Bobby. Oh,
Hi there.
Hi, how you doing, everyone?
How about,
Oh, wow, okay.
Sorry, there you go.
hi, Bob. Hi, Pete.
Hi, guys.
All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We go get along.
Yep.
All right, let's light this candle. So we'll start the meeting as of 7:01. And let's see here, minutes of last meeting, do we have any adjustments, edits, additions, deletions?
no, electronically.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
They were circulated.
Yeah,
Somehow, somewhere, from John.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah, because I sent them to her.
okay. Awesome. Yeah, I was even prepared to motion to accept it, no.
Okay, we have a motion to accept, any second?
I'll second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any abstain, so any opposed? Okay, so one abstention. Okay, so we have our first selectman here, Steve.
Ready for audience or citizen?
That's
Me.
well, we are our guest. You actually get your. You got, yes,
Yeah.
you're ahead of the audience, yes.
All right, so last night, Board of Selectmen met. It was time to oversee and look at applications or people's desires to serve on boards or committees. And for the most part, 90%. It was fine. There were some people whose names were on there and they were already on committees and they did not get into to talk to the town if they want to be placed on the committee again. So we voted for people who were, they wanted to be on the committee and there was spots for them. Some people, like the rec commission, had 3 people that don't expire until 2027. So in saying that, it all worked out fine. We are bringing in some people from nearly every board to talk to them because we don't know who they are and why they want to be on the board, what their interests are, what they bring to the board that is of value for the people and the residents of the town, and their background on what they're applying for. So we're bringing people in, and I know we've never done this, but if you serve on a board, you want the people that want to be there and bring value to it. So, I think. So not every board has full seats, not until we get through that. LMAC is a different ball of wax. We have 16 people asking to be on LMAC and 11 spots. Now, Bobby, because she is president of the Columbia Lake Association, she sits on LMAC, does not take up one of the 11 spots. However, I have to ask you, Muffy, because you put on what we asked people to send in, you put in there your first choices to be on LMAC. Now, the question is, do you want to be one of the 11, even though you're on as the 12th, because I don't know your term for a CLA, if it's 1 year, if you decide you don't want to and you resign that position, do you still want to be on LMAC? So the question is, I need to tell the board, Are you vying for a seat on LMAC as LMAC member, or because you're already on there as CLA? If something happens, if you resign your position as president of CLA, you will not be, a member or a voting member of LMAC.
Right,
So I need an answer.
I'm here because I'm the president of CLI, so if I resign my position, I'm president of CLI.
Okay.
I wouldn't be on that.
And that's
If
fine.
you wanna be on it. If you want president. I don't.
Please do not lead the witness.
Sorry.
Where's Henry? Come on. Yeah. It was a question, but she answered it to me. I understand, because I don't, nobody believes that you're gonna resign your position as president of CLA, so. But it is a formality. Somebody had a question about that.
Sure,
And we
so
couldn't
it's a
answer.
reasonable question.
Okay, so we've got 15 people seeking 11 positions. So what we did was we put it out to the board. Now, there are new members or to the board of selectmen this after the election. And one of them is very new to town. And it's funny where I have somebody who has grown up in this town and their family has a name on the street and and I said, well, what about Phyllis Dunn? I don't really know her. They knew you. But I'm throwing you out there because you're first on the list, but they must, Judy Ortiz didn't know probably 70% of the people we were trying to see. So she said, oh, I'd like to see them, I'd like to talk to them, I'd like to talk to them, I'd like to talk to them. So out of the 15, the unanimous are Phyllis Dunn, Mary Roytel, Greg Stryker, and Ann Dunn. So now there's 7 spots open. The rest of the people, Nazo, Henry Beck, Bob Miller, Dave Vanderbilt, Bob Powell, Frank Gifford, Mike Scalise, Jimmy Santos, Jeff Morrison, Kristen Locke, Chris Value. We're gonna ask you to come in and talk to members of the board the next meeting, which is the 16th, I believe. Let's see, today's the 3rd, so just 12, 14, 16. If you can't make it that night, let us know and we'll try to accommodate you. But it's hard to say, that's why I asked people, because I knew I'd have more different people on the board of selectmen. And we asked you to fill out some of this stuff, and so it gave us a little something, but they're gonna have some questions. Now, I'm gonna be fair to everybody. Not everybody's gonna be seated, that's obvious, you don't have the spots. And the town charter says we can sit up to 11. That doesn't even guarantee we'll be able to vote and fill 11 seats. We don't have to. So I'm gonna ask you this, it's just like when you go for a job interview. It's not a job interview, but when you come before the board, some of the things are going to be, why do you want to be on LMAC? What do you feel you bring to the table on LMAC? And I know a lot of you have been on LMAC for a long time, but you can talk about this stuff. And that's fine, because there's a couple that don't know you. But also importantly, and as far as I've been, as long as I've been on Board of Selectmen, in whatever capacity, whoever was sitting in that chair, if they talked about the safety on the lake, if they talked about the health of the lake, I'm on board on that. I go to the lake twice a year when my grandkids visit. I buy my pass and I go down there and they go into the water twice a year. But I do love the lake. I don't use it much, but I love the lake. I'm happy we have the lake in town. I'm nervous that every town around us is fighting the invasive species like crazy all throughout the state. We're doing pretty good. We're not great. We're doing pretty good. I take my lumps with the fishing fleet every spring. You can't deny us the lake. And I take a few punches in there. I try to accommodate them, and we're working to do that in more and more. So, and everybody who lives in town owns a piece of that lake. The tax dollars go to whatever we have to do on that lake. And I understand that when you live bordering the lake, you pay a lot more in taxes. I get it. I get it. Okay. But it doesn't buy you something. You're gonna ask yourself, because I'm gonna ask you when we're interviewing or asking you about why and what do you bring. One of the big things is I got a report from Marine Patrol. And I'm gonna say this, Marine Patrol positions are not a given either for this coming spring, okay? Not a given either. I'm gonna grill them same way. Okay? Because I gotta be understand, I listen to everybody when they speak to me about goods and bads of every position in the town. Even my position. One of the big things I'm gonna ask you is, do you live to uphold the safety and the welfare of the lake? Yeah. When people talk and people talk, we don't live on the lake against the people who live on the lake. I hear it. I know you hear it. I know that Henry Beck has talked about it in a meeting. Yeah, I hear that, he said. Are you the person that sets the example when you're on the lake? Or are you the person that's fertilizing your lawn in the dead of night? Putting sand down, and that's nobody here, putting sand down on a beach on a Saturday when you don't think anybody in town is looking. When you put on a dock and you extend it a couple of extra feet because nobody's gonna rat you out. If you put on a dock and you're not authorized to dock and you don't think I'm gonna come after you because you've done that, that's another story. Are you that person? Are you that person that is out there all the time, helping with the testing? Are you the person that's looking at somebody saying, hey, between you and I, knock the shit off, okay? Knock it off. You're the person that says, Stephen, we got a problem. There's oil in the lake. We need somebody over there right now. We could go. That's what happened. I got that call. Are you the person that makes that call? Because you believe in what you represent in the position that you're on. Because some things have come to light where you're valuable. We keep our eye on you. People talk. You don't do the things you say. You don't show up. You're a great person. You bring expertise in this area. It's all a can of worms, and I gotta mold a committee out of that. So I'm telling you, please bring, no, I'm giving you the questions, okay? In the military, we're giving you the horse. Giving you the question. What are you bringing to the table? Because I've got 7 spots to fill. And too many people to fill, 11 people. All right? You deserve the explanation of what happened last night. And that's why I'm here tonight. Believe me, when Mark tells me that LMAC goes till dark 30, I'm not happy about coming to an LMAC meeting. I do respect you guys. I really do. We've had our differences. I'm not lying there. But some of the things some of the things I see it a little bit differently in my common sense and when I talk to the board. I know we don't marry up all the time, and we never will. We never will. Sometimes I think that's okay, because if you're on, we're not in Pleasantville here. All right, it's not black and white, and we're not in Pleasantville. But everybody in here I know, and myself and Donna, who doesn't live on the lake but stares at it every day out of the window, and a couple of people, we're all here for the same reason. So when you're asked these questions, be ready. Be ready. Okay? Mr. Chair, can I take questions?
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions for me?
Yeah, hey Steve, I have one. It's Bob Miller. Do you now look at LMAC as more transitioning from an advisory more to a direct responsiveness group?
It is still going, I can't change that. What I can tell you is we value your opinion, your expertise. Okay? If decisions have gone against that, and I know there's probably 3 in the last 2 years, I get it. But there's reasons for it. I think I explained it then, but I'm more on the lake side than as staunch as the person out here, okay? So you're still an advisory committee to us. So it's gonna remain that such.
And one follow-up on that is how do we differ from the Columbia Lake Association with regard to roles and responsibilities? And what's their from your perspective, what's their engagement to all the things that you just mentioned?
Honestly, nothing, but I don't have any, Columbia Lake Association is not a reporting body to advise the Board of Selectmen.
I guess
Right.
what I'm asking is, where's the value add? Where's the value add to everything you just said from the CLA?
CLA does not report to me in any manner.
No,
except
I
for-
get that. I understand that. I'm just
I guess I don't understand your question. Are you making a recommendation that we get rid of the CLA? They have no.
I'm trying to understand, I guess I'm getting stuck on the word advisory and what the roles and responsibilities are for our group, for committee.
CLA does no advising to me whatsoever in a formal capacity. They are, in essence, a private club of those who live around the lake. I do respect what they can bring, but I will tell you, I don't seek advisement from them. I go to LMAC.
Right. Okay.
Anybody else?
And it hasn't worked like that since I've been on this board. It's, if there's a vacancy, we fill it. And that's how it's been. It hasn't been, the selectmen haven't said, we have, like what you just said, 17 people that want to be on it. We've I went to meetings for 5 years, not on board, and then was on the board. I think Mike the same way. Yeah, so it's been, how do you want to say that? You grandfathered in?
No grandfathers.
Well, I'm just saying,
Okay, so let me.
you know what I
address that.
mean, right? Because
Right.
no one's, we've never done it that way.
Well, you're right, because I think what he's speaking to is, I've been on this board, I had to look it up, but 20 years this month. And, we went for years, if not, decade of, not having enough people on this board and having 0 guests and there's 0, audience of citizens or maybe a few a year. So is that kind of what you're?
Yeah, well, there was, we kind of asked the selectmen to pick this person, right?
That's what we did.
That's what we did, that's
and-
how it's always been.
Okay.
And that's 25 years,
But I think
30 years that I've been coming.
I think we serve
I
at
took
the,
Greg Vickers' place after he passed away. That's how
We-
it's done.
we serve at the discretion of the board of selectmen
Yeah.
as I understand it, so.
And as I understand the charter, it says up to 11. And I'll get it, but I'll have to read it again. The words are saying that we, seat all the boards. I understand what you're saying, but it's like. Dave, I don't know how to put it to you. There's some people on committees who believe because they're on committees, they're above the rules. Okay? And it's like coaches who coach for the rec department. And they go in and they open up the gym on a Saturday because they got a key. Because they're a coach. That's not the rule. And people complain, how come they get to do it and we don't get to do it? The lake, and you've been, you know it's a headache for me. You know it's a headache for me, okay? Because I want everybody to understand the rules and regulations and respect the lake. And when it's pointed out to me by people who either live on the lake or don't live on the lake, and they go, why are these people still on there? And it's not just LMAC, it's other committees. It's other committees. I go, okay, you're right, we're gonna do it differently. Where it is,
No, just ask.
I don't know, it's his,
Yes,
Ask.
yeah, go ahead.
Okay. It's my understanding that all committees and commissions, unless they're elected, serve at the pleasure of the board.
That's what I just said, yeah.
Yeah, and I chair the Open Space Committee and have for decades. And we had the same people. And all of a sudden, the Board of Selectmen decided that we had too many Democrats. And we were forced to invite two people to resign so that two Republicans could join. And we had no say because we serve at their pleasure. And so, and I think that was done because the board is, we started doing things and they got nervous because they were going to spend money and make waves. And it was the Model Pond project. And so they clamped up. And I think what happened here is probably that there were a lot of waves in the lake in the past few years. So they decided to clamp down. That's my observation. And to have a better, more control, because we built our open space and I also share conservation. And we built our own spots and nobody cared. We just say, oh, send them an email and go get sworn in. But no more, because with all the votes, the selectmen, especially with the election, they seem to want to have a little more control over it. And that's my observation, because I go to just about all the board of selectmen meetings. And so that's what happened. So not at all.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
I've got a question.
Yeah,
Question, Matt?
go ahead.
Steve, is it your intention to have political parity on these commissions?
mine? Oh, I could care less.
Is it the Board of Selectmen's desire to have political parity on these commissions?
What our desire is, and I'll answer your question, it's when it becomes an issue. Yes, we have to adhere to that in respect, okay? However, we want the best people on the boards, and if they're all Democrats and they do the job and they're good at it, I could care less. So there was.
What about the rest of the board then?
What do you mean, what about the rest of the board?
Well, the Board of Selectmen is gonna vote. You have one vote, the rest of the board also votes.
Yeah, we really don't, I mean, party line does not ever really come up on the Board of Selectmen. I'll be honest with you, and everybody has one vote. I have one, each one of the selectmen has one.
No, I realize that. I just was wondering if there's a desire to create some kind of political parity on these commissions. Not just LMAC, but on the others as well.
There is when somebody says, hey, I'd really like to be on open space, and I say it's full, and they say, well, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 Democrats and 2, I'm not sure. And, you know, 1 Republican, or, you know, we're really entitled to have another Republican on. Then you kind of have to go to the charter to make sure it meets it.
So the selection process is not entirely based on qualifications.
And if it gets to that point, it's probably not entirely, no.
Okay.
But in LMAC, on LMAC, you have 1, 2, 3 Republicans, 1, 2 Democrats, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 undecided, 8 unaffiliated. So it's not really an issue there.
But it may be in the future if there's people that are not currently on the board that become members of the board.
Yeah, well,
You've got 4 people. I'm assuming that everyone on LMAC has a desire to be reappointed. Is that correct?
it looks like it.
Okay, so that there's 11 spots. There's 15 people that are interested. So there's 4 people that are not currently on the board that are interested. Is that correct?
Yes.
Well, but Anne has been appointed and she's currently not.
Well, then, prior to that, let's just talk about the numbers he knows, so.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay. So that could change. Those 4 people could be Democrats or they could be Republicans, for example, and be appointed. That would change the numbers.
it would. But Bob,
Yeah.
don't worry, there's a Democrat and 2 independents on those 4 people, we're okay.
Okay.
No. You know, honestly, I said to them when they made the list, I go, why do we care if they're D or R? And they said, well, we have to have whatever they call that rule, minority representation. And I said, okay, don't we pick the best people? And they said, yeah, it usually works out that way. I think it was the one time when they said, hey, we'd like to have representation on the open space. So it's never really got to that point. And believe me, I'll take my hits when it comes to that, so.
No, I appreciate it, Steve. I do. Thank you.
So, Steve, and maybe I missed this. I had a problem tying on. But so there's more people applied to be on this committee this year than there's spots?
Yes.
Wow, that's a first. I mean, literally, I've been on this a long time, and we've never had that issue.
Yeah.
Do we ever have a waiting list?
We've had a waiting list in the past. We have, but it's never been more than, 1 or 2. And frankly, I mean, if people are interested in what happens here, they come to the meetings. They don't need to be on the board. And frankly, we've made the mistake of, appointing someone to the board or recommending the appointment of someone to the board who never really came to the board. Maybe they would come once a year or twice a year. And, they got on the board and they lasted, 2 months, and then they stopped coming, and then I had to kind of chase them down. So, I think whether someone is, at least the way we've run it, if someone's interested, they can.
They come to the meetings.
They come to the meetings.
5 years, you did 5 years.
Yeah.
You were here for a year.
Yeah, so.
That's kind of how we did it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but again, you know,
We know the person's
I
interested.
mean, whether or not someone's on the board, I think.
Yeah.
I don't wanna say it's irrelevant, cause it's not, it's relevant, but. There's always an opportunity, that's why I always say, when, you know, things get hot and there's a ton of people in here. I'm like, come on back, you know, and then the next meeting, no one's there.
Right.
You know, so it's.
Have those 4 people start coming to meetings.
Yeah, well, again, I'm not. That's not why I mentioned, I'm just saying, it doesn't, you know, if someone's interested, they can, whether or not. If I don't get reappointed, I'm still gonna come to meetings, cause I believe in what. Is being done here, and I'm interested in what happens, and caring for the lake, and. So, whatever, you know, that's all I'm trying to say is. So for someone to apply, but never have come, or have maybe only been a couple of times.
Yeah.
You know.
That's how we've done.
Could I make
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry,
just a
yeah.
couple of comments?
Yeah.
You know, one of the issues I think is we don't have terms, so it's great that you've been here 20 years, Mike, and have 20 years of experience, but. And David, you've been on here as long, if not longer, and have
Yeah, we're about the same.
all that institutional memory, but you
I
also.
think Jimmy Santos, the only
Yeah.
one who's been long.
Yeah, you also need turnover on committees and new thinking and different perspectives, so if we had terms and they were staggered. Which is what we've tried to do with the CLA board, then you get some new people on and you get some people. That have been there a long time, still there, and so that's something I think.
I hear you, but this has never been, you know, like I said, it's been, you know, very rarely has it ever been. An issue of maybe 1 or 2 people deep who have applied. Or shown interest, and then ultimately someone has stepped, you know, but again, those people who are interested, they just come to the meetings.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm just saying.
Mike, let me tell you.
Yeah.
I have had more than a few emails or calls saying, we own the lake also. We want non-resident, we want representation.
Yeah.
And, you know, they don't wanna have to wait 5 years, and they have a point.
Fair enough, I'm not, we've always wanted to get more engagement, you know, of a better cross-section of
Right.
representative of the town. So I get it, you know, I'm just saying, does someone need, well, I've said my piece.
To Mike's point, a year ago or a year and a half ago, we were looking for people, and we actually put our feelers out to people that didn't live on the lake. And I think we needed 3 people the last couple of years,
Something like that, yeah.
and it was very difficult to find anybody interested in coming once a month that didn't live on the lake. And of the 3 we got, we lost 2 of them. You know, since then.
Yeah, lake residents have come and gone quickly too, in a couple of instances.
Fair enough.
But my point wasn't that if they're not on the lake, they won't stay. That wasn't my point. My point is just that, you know, we've been trying to get people to come that don't live on the lake, quite frankly. You know, we actually put our feelers out a number of times, every time there's an opening, and we haven't had a lot of luck about it. Good luck. And certainly if some of these people, I guess there's 4 of them that want to be on it, if they've come to the meeting.
3, well, 4, yeah. Awesome.
Oh, we just.
You know what I mean?
We're
That
losing you,
certainly
Jim.
would have opened our eyes to it, and so I don't think we've ever been exclusive.
Yeah.
No, Jimmy, just to add to that, actually, I was one of the first ones to join LMAC that was not on the lake resident. And I think I was kind of recruited as well.
Well, it's better if you, Larry wasn't.
I'm sorry, Muffy had something to
I
finish. Yeah.
hadn't, yeah, that was one thought. The second thought, that I wanted to say. And I guess it's easy for me to say it because I'm automatically on as a result of being the CLA president, but it is in our interest for the Board of Selectmen to meet with us and have those conversations, because if we want them to heed the advice that we're giving them, the more they know about us and the better they know us, the better it is for everybody. So to me, that's just good common sense, that if they interview us and they know who we are, and then we are deliberating whatever it is that comes before LMAC and it gets to the Board of Selectmen, they'll have more confidence in the recommendations they're making if they know who we are. And that just makes complete sense to me, so.
Mike, can I add to that?
Oh, yeah, please do.
Thanks. I think what you're looking for, or the selectmen are looking for, you want to make sure that we're good stewards of the lake, we're committed to the lake, good citizens of the lake, that we're maintaining the highest standards as examples. But then I think you also, what I'm hearing here is that you want to make sure you have confidence that we're deliberating appropriately, we're taking all different viewpoints, so that when we come to you with a recommendation, you feel confident in what the decisions are that you have to make, that you've got what you need. Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, you weren't
I'm
here.
gonna paraphrase that a little bit, say, I'm confident that I respect what you're bringing to me, that you've thought it out, what you bring to the Board of Selectmen. Absolutely, I respect your decision, because we don't always follow.
Right.
For some, in the rare occasion. But yes, that's exactly right. Good stewards of the lake, examples of who's on the lake and rules and regulations, cleanliness, it's all that.
You were late getting here, but one of the things Steve said very early on was there's a new board of selectmen, and they don't all know who we are.
Right.
So
So they need to get to know us.
So how many are new on the selectmen? Rob is Rob in?
Rob is in,
But he was in before.
correct. There's one brand new, and then what I'm telling you, when I said surprise Judy Ortiz, and she didn't know. Right off the bat, she probably didn't know 5 people on the list that were already, and it baffled me, but. She doesn't run in that circle, I don't know. She doesn't go to the lake, she said she didn't know. And when I asked, we bring them in, or we're voting on them, bring them in, and it was the different people saying, bring them in. There was 2 people, I said, 3 people, the brand new people who are applying, I'm gonna bring all 3 of them in. Because I know them, I know one of them, 2 of them, one, I know enough, I could probably make a decision now. 1, I know a little bit, I need more information and some clarity on things that I see and read. And 1 person I don't know at all. So I'm not gonna say, well, I'm not voting for him, I don't know. Maybe he's some sparkling person with great morals, and he's out there picking up the snails and shining their shell, for all I know, making the lake beautiful. But I don't know him at all, so I'm gonna have to bring it in instead of going, you're out.
I'm sorry, did you guys have something to say? No. Yeah, go ahead.
Just a comment, Steve, I think maybe one of the hedges that people might have is, we've been struggling for a while, we just haven't gotten to it because of other business. But to rewrite our duties and responsibilities, which would help the selectmen and those other people to understand what we really do on this board. And we just haven't gotten to that yet. It's been on the back burner, and I think, from an LMAC standpoint, that's something that we really need to address. So that people in the town really know what we're doing. That might help.
Steve, you've, you've already, you've already confirmed 4 people. Was there a reason why you confirmed 4 people? It was,
Because people knew their values and they were unanimous choices.
okay,
If one person voted no, we'd be inviting people in. But Phyllis Dunn, Mary Royal, Greg Stryker, and Ann Dunn.
so you voted on everybody here, but there was not.
I didn't vote on everybody here because people said, I said, okay, Mike Nazzo. I don't know Mike Nazzo. That's the new select person. I don't know Mike Nazzo.
Okay,
So you wanna bring him in? We're gonna have to bring him in. Okay. Robert Millard. I go, Bobby Miller? I don't know him. Okay, we gotta bring him in. You know, if they don't know you. And the rest of the people on there, we don't know you. The 3 new people. Nobody was gonna vote on that. Because nobody. Do just a piece of paper. They gave me a resume, and on a resume, everybody looks sparkling, right? But already I know, you know, I have a little bit of an opinion on, like I said, one, the other one, I need to learn more stuff, and one I don't know from Adam. So.
Just because they know them doesn't mean they'd be better for the job.
Exactly, that's the other thing.
I mean,
Some people said, oh, I know them, I'm not voting for them.
So at least one person is off this committee.
yes,
So,
at least at this
right,
time.
and we don't know if that person is better than the person that's going out just because the board of selectmen doesn't know.
Right. That's why we're bringing in the top.
So 15 or 20 years of experience is
You know, I really,
not on the list.
when we talk to you, I'll give you examples why, you know, either people don't know you or they would let them, I'll give them an opportunity. Why they would, absolutely, Dave's a great guy. I'm sorry, or somebody could say, I'm sorry, you know, I know Dave's been on there for 20 years, but I don't think I can vote for him because I see him using fertilizer, I see him, you know, dumping chemicals in it. Who the hell knows? I don't know. But I'm just telling you how I'm just here to say. Y'all have been on this board a long time. I respect it. You give your time and stuff. I'm telling you what the questions are gonna be and have your answers. That's all. So. And again, the charter says up to 11, not has to be 11. So, you know, you say, well, one person won't be there. That's not necessarily true. Not necessarily true. Okay?
All right. Anybody else? All right, thank you very much. Okay, so there we have it.
So yeah, you're now on the board.
Yes,
So did me again.
When did she start?
But that would make
Well,
that would make 13.
what's that?
No,
Would that make
it's,
13?
No, that's what he's saying.
They're gonna eliminate at least one.
There, at least one of us is gone. If
Mike,
not,
I think you, Mike, excuse me, I think you need to bring up the legality of this meeting
Well, I
or the
was just
illegality.
about to say, well, okay,
I don't think we can talk.
None of us are on the board. The only person that's on the board right now is Ann Dunnick,
well, no, and Mary,
who's
and
present,
Mary,
who's present at this meeting.
Mary, and
Oh, I'm sorry,
Phyllis.
and Mary, yeah.
So, but well, what I was just about to say is frankly, if I can, speak openly, is does anything on this agenda matter? And can we really accomplish anything until we have a meeting or until we hear from the results of the 16th?
Yeah, the point I'm making is all of our terms expired last month. We have not been,
yes,
so we're not really official members. This is not an official meeting.
We're technically expired, but we have not been replaced. I spoke to Mark Walter about it, and we can still have a meeting, but you know, again, I just question, is there anything on this agenda that if we're all not gonna be here, or some portion of us, should we just push everything until January?
Are there any building permits that need to be reviewed and approved?
Yeah.
So go ahead, Ann, should go ahead. Ann has something to say, hold on.
I haven't been sworn in. So.
No, you're,
I'm in the audience.
you're.
They just voted on
Yeah.
me, but I haven't got
They-
sworn in.
They haven't appointed a new board.
Oh,
no.
So we're kind of in this,
We're in limbo.
a little bit, yeah.
I think we
Or
can
we
still
can
run
use
some
this until
business,
we
you've
don't.
got, right, you've got the issues with getting the permits done, you've gotta do that.
Okay, so,
Well, I want to talk about the watershed management plan, but
Yeah.
too, so.
okay. All right, so, permits, what do we have?
Yeah, we've got a couple of them to go through, did a couple of site visits last week. But first I wanna talk about one that we had last month that didn't get resolved, and that's 22A Lake Road. I think the big sticking point at the last meeting was that the dock, the only issue it had, besides the not having a permit, was that it was 17 feet from the neighboring properties. And I thought it was 25 foot, and it's not, it's 15 feet,
The regulation or this actual dock?
the regulation.
Okay, it's 15 feet.
That's what I said, and no one would listen to me.
You did. You did.
Wait, the town guideline is you have to be 15 feet
Mhm.
from the property line. It's
Yeah.
not 25.
The second dock has to be 25.
No, it refers to the boat lift.
The boat lift has to be 15,
Boat lift has to be 15. And that
and
section,
your second dock has to be 25. But your first dock,
right, the dock and the boat lift are two different things.
right,
Oh, I'm confused.
I don't think they never set where the first dock could be on your property. The second dock is the one that they've said has to be 25. They might have wrote it in now that it's 25, but it used to be, your first dock is where it is.
So even if it's within 5 feet of the property?
Possibly, I don't know if it was ever
No,
clear.
I'm not talking about that property, I'm just talking.
Yeah, I know.
In general,
Yeah.
wherever it is.
So I can read it for you if you want.
Yeah.
It
Yes,
says,
please do.
and this is under abutting property considerations, section 7. And it says, watercraft coverings, watercraft lifts and rafts must be located so that all parts thereof are at least 15 feet from the abutting property boundaries, including the imaginary extension of those property boundaries over the water. So it is 15 feet, not 25.
So that's about, but under docks, it says, that's what, this is confusing. No dock shall be placed closer at any point than 25 feet to the applicant's extended property line.
Correct.
Well, this is a boat lift, so
Right.
it's not a dock.
Correct.
Okay,
So a dock can't be placed within 25 feet because
Right.
got
my property's 61. So if I'm 15, if I'm 25, I got full room for it, right? So
Watercraft, let's see.
yeah, well,
So no, you have room for.
I'm 51 feet, my cottage is 51, my right of way is 8. So
okay.
if you use 51 feet, then I got minus 4 feet. You can't have a minus 4 foot dock.
Okay, got it.
See what I mean? So you can't have 25 feet when you're allowing docks on 50-foot wide properties. But then again, there's only 4 that are less than 50 feet.
50 feet, yeah,
Okay.
there's now,
So,
There's not very much.
where does that leave us with this application?
So, you,
go for it.
so the other thing is just not having a permit. So it's not legally there to begin with. But we've had, like that, for example, on Route 37, that floating dock that, I think it was last year, they put in the floating dock with no permit. And, they were told they had to either get a permit, actually they had to take a section out. But they did get a permit,
Correct.
And this is kind of the same situation. So seeing that, and the fact that there's really no work to be done. It's there already, it's been there for 13 years. I would, put that into the BOS as an administrative approval.
Okay. So it, because it conforms to the guidelines.
It conforms to the guidelines.
Okay,
Special case, done.
all right.
I would second that.
Next one,
Don't need the break because it's 15 feet.
the next one is 41 Sleepy Hollow Road, Henry Beck. He's looking to patch some holes and cracks in his wall, about 60 feet of wall, and his steps. He's had to do this a couple different times before. And
Are these like masonry repairs?
masonry repairs, yeah, same material, cement.
If it's a repair, do you need a permit, or if it's reconstruction, do you need a permit?
No, you need a permit.
I mean, if you just recap it or recapping,
Right,
I don't,
again,
Still need a.
Well, you do, but that's.
again, I would consider this a minor repair.
Yeah.
A minor repair is, again, administrative approval is in order for this one as well.
Okay.
You're here.
It reminds me, that reminds me, I have to finish, have to report, I gotta set you for that. I know, I got to send you an application, because in the spring I have to.
Oh,
Have to do a little report.
probably reject that.
Yeah.
So the third one here is, Eric and Tracy Sodergren over on 166 Route 87. They have an existing dock that's 8 feet by 24. And they want to replace the dock with, same size dock in the same location. So, again, I think, the guidelines state that, let me see which one that is, but
whose house is that? Which one is it?
that's.
It used to be the old Farina house.
Oh, the Willard one, or the?
Yeah, the Willard
The
one.
one right on the right.
Yeah.
If they got a floating dock.
So they're,
Yeah.
they're replacing a dock, is it a wooden structure or concrete?
It's wood,
Mm,
and I measured it, so it is exactly what.
Smaller
was.
That's a pretty big, that's a pretty good dock now. They gotta replace that dock.
Yeah,
It's pretty,
yeah,
it's in good shape, really.
it's listing,
Listing, well,
and it's, the wood's showing its age.
yeah.
So general standard, I think it's, 8A. Says the replacement of an existing non-conforming structure may be replaced to the same size and location as long as it hasn't been abandoned for more than 3 years, which this hasn't, so. This one is gonna be going to the, Board of Selectmen for their approval.
As an administrative.
No, not administrative.
Oh, okay.
This was going.
You want a motion?
Do you need us?
Yeah. They're going for a full permit?
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, Steve, I have a question on that. When they do a full dock replacement, is it assumed or did they state that they're gonna be placing it to the lake bottom or the lake bed the same as the original? Or is there a different process used?
I don't think there's anything in there that says anything about how it's attached to the lake bottom, but they are going to put the legs on blocks that are embedded in the.
Cemented.
Yes.
They're gonna put a footing in.
I
You're gonna
think,
put footing under it.
right, but are they gonna, at least if I'm interpreting Rob's question, are they going to put more or less or the same amount? Are they changing the pad, size? Is there any change?
Well, right now, the dock is sitting on like a 6x6 beam going this way and the legs sit on that. So there's nothing going, it's not sitting on a rock, it's not sitting on cement, it's sitting directly on the lake bed. So they wanna get rid of that situation. And
So they need something,
on the footing.
they gotta have something
Yeah.
more than that.
Yeah, so, and they were told they can only do, by hand, if you're gonna do any excavation, it's gonna be minor, but. So,
So they use concrete and block.
actually, it's gonna be block, it's not gonna be, they say they're gonna put blocks, concrete blocks in there,
Okay.
yeah.
So they're
Not
not
pouring,
pouring concrete.
No, those regular footings.
Okay,
Pre-made.
all right, so we need to make a motion here?
Yeah, I want a motion that we, send this to the Board of Selectmen for their approval.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, any further discussion or questions on this permit?
Well, I guess to follow up on my question, not knowing what the foundation is, should it be clearer in the application? So I remember when I put our dock in, we put in the concrete bells or whatever, and it was poured. If you're using straight blocks, aren't blocks have a tendency to move if you're putting them just on the lake bed?
I guess it depends.
Just
on
a
how
question, I
concrete
mean,
prepared. Yeah.
what's that?
It's not specified on the permit. We can go back and have them do that if that's an issue.
Well, you can have a motion and amend the motion to, with approval of, what the foundation will be, something.
What footings, really.
What the footings will be.
Footings will be.
So is that something we should put into whenever
Because we're
anyone's
talking-
doing work
Well,
on the dock?
I guess I guess another suggestion is that
Yeah,
you could just say, amend the motion to say,
On the building permit,
it's approved pending, conforming footing design.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
we're talking December, and we wait until January.
Yeah, conforming to what though?
To the guidelines.
Is there anything in the guideline that?
Well,
anything
As
about?
long as right, but
they just say it's
Thought
gotta
there
be
was
attached to
something.
shore.
Yeah.
It says it has to be attached
Yeah.
to shore, but it doesn't say anything about footings.
Yeah, for me, the best one's in blocks, so, cause it gets pushed by the ice or something, then you can rearrange them and level, you know?
Yeah.
Put a cement block there, they end up getting pushed by the ice and then you're done.
Yeah, that was my concern, is that the dock wouldn't be too stable in the event in the wintertime. So, or prior. But yeah, I agree with.
Better beware.
I'm sorry, yeah, I was gonna say, if we don't specify it, probably it'll have.
I say mention it so the selectmen are aware that they need to have footings or
Yeah, solid footings.
may need to write something new about that.
wouldn't that be required on the building permit though? When they go for a building, they have to go for a building permit to redo the dock.
No, they don't.
On that permit, wouldn't,
No,
I don't think.
Not yet.
No, you don't. There's no building permit.
Did we
For
ever
the
do
dock?
that?
Nope,
yeah, just this.
just us.
Just-
No
Okay.
building permit.
There's been a couple times where the building people have looked at things, but then they stopped, maybe 20-25 years ago. There
They
was a
don't?
few instances where I read some, you know, I got an
That's-
email or
that's fine,
something,
yeah.
but that doesn't happen. It
So-
doesn't really happen.
Hey,
So if
Dave,
there's
Mike, the only reason why I brought it up is we did our doc over, I remember Steve Harrington was on the subcommittee. He's actually the one that came out and made the recommendation based on his experience in other docks to use the cone type and do a concrete pour and get a lot more stability on it. So with not knowing what they're going to use as a base, so just a little more clarification, and then if it's good,
basically
Well,
acts as a
again,
spread
but
footing?
the point is, we don't have there's nothing in the guidelines that's really, that says what they should or shouldn't use. So really, we have no grounds to recommend or even require anything. Other than the pending that the footings meet the whatever limited guidelines there are.
Usually someone will write what they're gonna do, though. They usually will write, they're gonna pour it footing, but they already said they're doing blocks, so I think that's the end of the story.
Yeah, I don't think we need to get, so we'll just say,
I could put it. We could put it in there's a list of things that they have to do on this, right? So I can put, you told me, they have to put the concrete blocks underneath each.
It could be a
well,
write-in,
that
put a write-in, yeah.
the footings need to be,
Yeah.
the footing design needs to be I would say compliant with the guidelines.
But there's
But
something
there's
in the
nothing in
guidelines.
Yeah.
guidance,
So
We can't say that.
So we can't say it, so
No,
then
no,
we'll just leave it alone.
we do say something about working on the lake bed without not using heavy equipment and all
Right,
that,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So,
Yeah,
Yeah. Maybe
alright, so then,
there's nothing in the guidelines, we can't
Okay.
require them to.
Yeah, there are docks coming out with little footings, those, we're gonna talk about it next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there are docks that want concrete.
yeah,
Yeah.
alright, so any further discussion? Okay, all in favor, aye, any
Aye.
opposed? Any opposed? Do we have one opposed? Rob?
No,
One.
no.
Yeah.
That was-
Yeah, I just wanted to get, yeah.
Okay,
No opposed, right?
no opposition.
So there's one more.
Yep,
It is 7 Lakeview Drive, Carrie and Kathleen Butler. He put in one of those aluminum dots, 4 feet by 24. Last summer in the high water. So someone turned him in. And now he's putting in a permit to put that in place.
you said what, 4 by what?
Wasn't that it when he had he had on both sides of his boat lift? Right from the very beginning, I thought.
Yeah, he had a boat lift there.
He only had one at the beginning and then he put a
There's
second.
one dock and a boat.
So,
So then this was a second dock.
well, we'll get it. So he put in this other dock, but he's already has a second dock there. And, this is actually the third dock, and it could be the fourth dock, because he has another structure on the lake bed itself, which looks like a 5 by 5 dock with, cross beams. He says it's his kayak, he puts his kayaks on there, so doesn't call it a dock, but it could be construed as a dock. It's a dock.
What's attached to?
It sits right on the
The lake bed?
And it's not floating.
No.
It's not floating and it's right at the shoreline.
Yeah.
You said it's structured. That more boats.
So this other dock that was there is huge. It's like, I think it's 16 by 14. It's a good sized dock, and I recommended that you park your boat there, because he says it's hard for him to get into his dock with the wind and the wakes pushing the boat in the other direction. That's why you put them probably 10 feet apart from each other, so he can get his pontoon boat between them. So I guess everything about it is really against pretty much 5 or 6 different regulations in here. So I am suggesting to the board that they deny this permit. I've made some suggestions to him. One being, take out the other docks, and then you'll have 2 docks in that position. He doesn't want to do that.
Of course not.
Have the other.
Well, I want 2 more docks.
So it's actually a build out of his yard, the other.
Yeah, alright, so just in the spirit of moving things along, would
Yeah.
you like to make a motion on this?
Yes, I'm gonna make a motion that we send this to the Board of Selectmen to deny this permit.
Okay. Do we
Quick
have a sec?
comment.
Oh, wait, not yet, I need
Oh,
a
I'm sorry.
second.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
We have a second, any
I'll
further
second.
discussion?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Further discussion.
Mike, excuse me, Mike, when you send that to the Board of Selectmen, make sure you explain to them why we suggest it's rejected.
Yeah,
Because they may take it upon themselves to say, oh, well, what's wrong with 4 docks?
I don't believe so, but you're right, Bob. All the regulations.
Yeah, in other words,
complicated-
we're recommending it be rejected
And,
for the list of criteria.
Exactly.
And thank you, and removed.
the dock needs to be removed.
Well, and I guess multiple docks need to be removed.
No, just
Well, at least that one.
one or the other.
The others are, I think the others are
Well, I
grandfathered.
think we have to
The original
get
one.
to the permit
Yeah.
they wanna say is this, we already put this in, we took the boat lift out. And we're denying that, it has to be removed. If they want a new permit, then come back.
Well, but wait a minute, am I hearing that there is?
There
This is
has
the
to be-
fourth, this is the fourth structure,
Correct.
Yeah, but I
And
think the
there's-
other three are grandfathered, Mike.
grandfathered from what?
No,
They've been there forever.
Oh, okay.
no,
The first-
at least two maybe.
The first big one
Yes,
on the Durwood side has been there, it's like 15 feet wide by 24.
correct.
Then there's two 25-foot by 4-foot docks that he wants to park his boat in the middle. One of those docks was permitted when he had a
Correct.
lift. So now he got rid of the lift and he's trying to replace it, so he can
Correct.
slide right in between the two.
The fourth structure is a dock
Yeah,
on the lake bed for his kayaks.
right.
Well, so that's what I'm asking.
Actually, that's,
So looking at it, and my sense is it's been there forever.
that's his second dock.
No,
That would be his second. He had the big dock, a canoe dock, then he put
Well, then we allowed him to put a third dock in with a boat lift?
I don't think we actually suggested that he move the boat lift over there because the Durways weren't happy with it. The boat lift up by the. We actually at a meeting said, why don't you put it here?
That's right.
But so we let him put a third structure in.
We let him put a third dock in with a boat lift.
I don't
So
remember.
you can't make them take the kayak thing out now if you permitted the,
And
you're already.
we permitted the first walkout for the boat lift, not the second one. So he had one on both sides of the boat lift.
I had just joined permit when this happened.
Yeah.
I remember this now,
It's been a little long.
because Durwood was,
Yeah.
pissed off. I would suggest we stick to the permit and we deny the permit as Mike is recommending with the removal of the dock placed in illegally in the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right,
let's just
but-
keep it simple. Let's not complicate things with other
Yes.
docks.
okay,
Yeah.
all right, so.
He's gonna
any
claim the
further-
safety thing, though, that's what he wants, he thinks it's
And,
safe, which is fine.
How many-
It would be much safer if my dock was 10 feet wide by 30 feet long.
Right.
Wish I-
Just, let's not even go there. Okay, so, any further discussion on this permit application? Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. Okay. Anything else? Wow. We're stacked up.
We've done good.
Stacked up. Thank you. Thank you. Good stuff. Good stuff. Anything else tonight, as far as our normal agenda?
Did we talk about the watershed management thing?
Sure.
Mary, so we had agreed. Just to refresh, at the last meeting, I had come and proposed that we basically reconstitute the original watershed management plan task force. And Henry suggested that we keep it within LMAC, we invite other boards and commissions, certainly to review and participate, but that we don't really need to be quite that elaborate about it, so we keep it here. We had some suggestions for who was volunteering. I hope they're in the minutes, cause I don't remember off the top of my head.
You mean Henry and Greg?
Hold on.
Yeah, I think
On the
so.
subcommittee, watershed management, Muffy, Greg, Frank, Henry, Mary.
Oh, very good.
Perfect.
So are you gonna come?
You got a whole
Review what we have, what the link, what it is, we're gonna look at it line by line at the meetings and then suggest
It needs
changes.
to be rewritten because of the new data we have over 30 years.
So the idea was, this plan will be 30 years old in 2028, that it needs a review. To see what's still relevant, work that we
It can't
did?
be that old because that was.
1998.
We started in 2000, we were, it was after we were in.
Now, the original,
1998. The original
original one
plan
was 98.
1998.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was,
It's,
yeah.
it's,
That wasn't,
Right.
we didn't talk about it at Lake Management, that must have been done at somewhere else. I don't think it was done at Lake Management.
well, I thought that Henry had said there wasn't, LMAC didn't exist yet.
Yeah, it did.
Chick was the one,
Actually,
Chick was the one.
Chick was the one, and he brought it to us when he was.
Right, and LMAC officially came out
Right
in
after.
this watershed management.
Yep.
At any rate, it's
I
been a
remember
long time. It needs to be reviewed. We need some kind of scorecard, you know, what, the central feature of that plan, as you will all recall, was the nutrient allocation plan. That was the real meat of the plan. And, we talked here about how, and TRC has commented on that, how effective that has been, and it had to have done some good, because it it had to, but quantifying that will be difficult, and I had asked Savannah, could we actually pull the nutrient allocation worksheets for all the properties that have had work done since we passed that? And just, you could just do the math on how much phosphorus was required to be reduced and what it would have been had we not done all that, but the records are scattered, they're not digitized, there's no easy way to get at that
I
information.
thought there was a digital worksheet that was part of it.
It is.
Well, now, but going all the way back to 1999, say, to cobble that together, anyway, I'm
Yeah,
getting a little off the topic.
sorry, go ahead.
But, so what we agreed at our last meeting was, TRC would have to actually write the update and write the report. And so without a budget, it would be very difficult to do much of anything. So thank you, Mary, for reaching out to Carl Nielsen. And she got a proposal from him today, which we were happy to circulate. And round numbers, the estimate he assumed, which I think was very reasonable, that we would do this over a period of 6 months, so there'd be 6 monthly meetings. He's budgeted 4 hours of his time per month to put toward this. And then drafting the plan and circulating it and having a meeting to present it and finalizing it. Would, for a grand total of $17,600, which I think is super reasonable for the amount, for the value of what will come out of this process. That to me is, it's not chump change, but it's almost chump change for what the value of what this work could lead to. And I reread that report not too long ago, and the focus then,
I'm sorry, which report?
the watershed, the 1998 watershed
got it.
management
Yeah,
plan, the
yeah.
focus there was mostly on septic systems. This back then, and now we all know, based on the work that TRC has done for us, the primary source of phosphorus coming to the lake is stormwater runoff. So we already know that we need to shift our focus, but in what ways and what concrete steps can we take to reduce the phosphorus coming into the lake it's super important. For me, this would be the most important work that we could undertake here, really.
I just have to say TRC, I think, has done a great job. You know, for years we had the consultant, but they seem to have stepped right up. So
Well,
everything we paid them is worth every
They
dime.
do the science, which we always had, and I really enjoyed and respected Corbin. TRC goes the next step to what are the action steps we should be taking, of which they will be presenting in January at LMAC, in their annual plan. some recommendations for where we are today. And what do we do with Thespian Pond? What do we do with the phosphorus load? So they're gonna be making recommendations.
So, and I just as a side note, I listened in the other night, there's a series of webinars that Western Connecticut State University has sponsored. I missed the first two, but I listened in the other night and it was because it was on algae blooms. And it was a joint rensselaer between Rensselaer, Polytech and Western. Did you dial
Yeah, it
in,
was-
Frank?
yeah.
I was blown away with the sophistication of what they're doing on Lake George. They have I mean, and most of what he said was just so far over my head, I couldn't even begin to repeat any of it. And he was talking about the platform they set up to monitor basically the lake. But they've done bathymetric. Did you happen to see that image of?
Yeah.
So a picture of Lake George, if there were no water in it, the topography of the lake. And they have sensors, they have 5 weather stations on the lake.
Wow.
Yeah, we have one, we think, that we're all excited
Yeah,
about,
yeah.
they have 5.
Well, they're a little larger.
I know,
It's like, it might be covering a little more ground.
Sensors and weather stations and cameras and you name it, all to monitor what's going on in the lake and the currents and the flows and the sediment. It made me realize how invested some communities are in what's going on in their lake. I mean,
Well, I mean-
clearly Lake George is, you know.
I'm gonna say, I mean, there's a bit of scale.
Yeah.
Probably they have a budget that's.
Yeah.
36,000.
Yeah, yeah,
There we go.
for sure.
So what are we, we're,
Yeah.
5% of that?
Yeah,
Right?
that's that.
Right, but still to understand, you know, the level of interest that people are putting into, and we can learn from what they're doing. Obviously, we can't afford to do what they're doing.
Yeah.
We can certainly learn from it. It was impressive.
So, we'll need to present this to Mark as far as the budget goes
Yep.
and see where that fits in with. I don't think there's any. I guess, let me put it out this way. How do you wanna proceed? Do you wanna turn this into a motion? Do you want to talk with Mark and see where, if there's budget for this?
I'd love to make a motion, and I would round that up a little bit, you know, just to give ourselves a little cushion to maybe 20K, and just so we're, you know, if there's out of bounds discussions.
So there's
or,
no change.
You know, so we don't have to do change orders and things like that, but,
Well, the change order is one thing, getting the budget for it is another.
well, right, but what's the budget cycle here? What is?
June, right?
July. And June 30th, so July.
Yeah, June 30, so, yeah.
Well, so 6 months, well, no, it would be, we pay as we go, though, we said you'd invoice monthly, so yeah, we need approval to start spending money to
Yeah,
start
so,
this process.
right, well, if it's 18,000, let's call it 18, and you divide that over 6 months, then, you know, we're about $3,000 a month.
Yeah.
But still, and that may be a bit more palatable in the proposal to Mark Walter as far as fitting into
Yeah.
the budget, so.
And I'm happy to talk to him
Yeah.
first, if you think.
Well,
that's
maybe-
a better group here.
Yeah, I think maybe an informal conversation, hey, you know, this is what we got, there's, you know, I'm sorry, let me just finish my thought. And, you know. There's, you know, general consensus on the board, we'd like to, you know, turn this into a formal recommendation, you know, what. Other than, you know, we're past consensus, we're ready to make a recommendation. You know, how do we approach the budget side of this?
Okay.
And then I think then we could make a more meaningful motion that maybe would be expedited.
It may need BOS approval if they want.
Oh, I'm sure it's gonna be.
It ain't in this one.
Yeah, it's not in this budget, and then I guess the question is can we just try to plan for it for next budget, so.
And in fairness, all of you, you haven't seen the proposal yet,
Yeah.
so
Once you send,
I'll send the
Yeah.
proposal out to you.
Yeah.
It's only 3 pages, so,
No, it's,
take it long to read it,
Yeah.
but if anything stands out that you have questions about, we can resolve those. In the meantime, I'll go talk to Mark
That'd be great.
and about next steps to
Good.
deal with the budget side of this, but I'll say that, generally the committee was in favor of moving forward.
right,
So they've been
No,
invited
wait.
definitely for next
yeah,
month.
well,
They have Mary Carl's coming next month, right?
Yes,
Ian's been holding.
Sorry.
oh, sorry, yeah.
It's budget season right now.
Okay,
Right,
All
it's already
budgets
initiated.
are due Friday.
Okay.
This Friday. Yeah,
Isn't
well,
that the 8th?
yeah,
Yes, yes.
I remember, did we get it?
no, the 8th is
No,
not until
wait a minute,
next
that's
week.
January.
January. I thought it was
No,
January.
December. All commissions and committees that have budgets
Friday's the 5th. Friday's the
need to
5th.
get them in by December 8th.
That's
So
Monday.
that must be one,
That's Monday.
okay? And then the budget is, they go into deliberation on all the budgets. January, beginning of January.
Well,
So I would recommend that you vote on the 20K now. Not right now. And get that to Walter and tell him
Go to,
that we voted on
Mark.
this is what we need. And could he please put that in the budget? They will be much happier.
We need to TRC.
In the budget,
yeah,
And-
challenge,
scramble around, that much money out of undesignated
Yeah.
later.
I
I
don't,
think
I
we
don't
need to double
remember.
check.
Yeah, because they
Mark-
usually come to me and they send me a copy of the budget and I have not seen that.
Mark asked for a
Yes, I
TRC.
haven't gotten mine either.
He wants a TRC proposal in January. That's what he told me,
Yeah. He'll
which is
just put
what we
in,
do.
put in.
TRC gives us a proposal for the next year in January. So I think we just need to double check.
Yeah,
All right, could-
but this is a newbie. And so the sooner you go to him and warn him, the better.
oh, yeah, I mean, I'll write some tomorrow.
yeah, I would just
Uh.
tell him the and if, how about this? If he needs something more formal, then we
We
can,
can do it by email.
yeah. We'll
Is that
start there.
okay?
Yeah, that works,
Tell them.
yeah,
But we should just double check on the budget process for 2026.
yeah, well, I'm gonna ask him tomorrow.
I was gonna say that, Mike can follow up on that.
Yeah.
I will,
I
I'm
just-
just granting him
yeah.
this proposal and tell him we discussed it here.
Yeah,
There is consensus that we should move forward with it.
yeah,
And we'd like to budget 20K for the whole project.
Yeah, what's his deadline?
yeah, I mean, most of our stuff is kind of already in play, but
Except
We would-
TRC's
That's
proposal.
what everyone's gonna just say, but,
Yeah.
so, alright. Okay, I'll make a point to, send Mark something on that. Okay. Anything else on, any committee reports?
Just specific communication, the annual presentation on the state of the lake by TRC will be at the January meeting. I included drafts of not only what we spoke of last, what are methods to remove clasping pondweed last month, but what are methods to reduce internal phosphoruses. In their presentation, I've asked TRC to please include and to review these and make sure that they're up to speed in terms of TRC's knowledge. What do we do with nuisance plants, which really are the symptom? Bigger picture, what do we do with infernal phosphorus loading? Dave sent me a text on logs, in essence, or
Timber,
timber char.
timber char, which is charcoal infused with a few chemicals. And
Yeah,
there was a lake somewhere where they issued
silver
these
lakes.
bags to everyone who had a wooden dock so they could hang. They're not good banging on things. And it absorbed a certain amount of phosphorus over a few years. You gotta take them out in the winter so they don't freeze, but we don't have the water, so we drain down and take care of it. But it's something to look into, I think.
Yeah, we
Did
looked
you have
into
any
it.
numbers that, I looked it up, I couldn't see what the percentage of.
We looked into fox logs 3 years ago, and we actually volunteered to buy a couple.
Yeah.
Until I got for a 280 acre lake, we needed 560. And a
Yeah.
public 240 was not gonna do it. So I think it's gonna be a significant amount. The only thing I could find was Timber Char's estimate is $200 to $1,000 per acre. But are we treating
Yeah.
30 acres of phosphorus, or are
Right.
we treating the whole lake? So I think
Or we
This
trace
is why
what
TRC
comes off from each property, that
Yeah.
might.
Well-
You know what I mean, it's not like we have to treat for the whole watershed, maybe just what the contributing factor is from each house.
well,
I don't know.
these stormwater drains, there are 70 plus stormwater drains that
Yeah.
go into this lake. So, and that's not just lakefront property, it's the whole watershed.
That's where it all.
So we've got to stay focused on what the watershed delivers. So anyways, these are just drafts of what I've sent to TRC. I want them to validate them and then make recommendations to us. What should we do for this lake? Because we have all this stuff, but what should we do for this lake?
One of the
And-
action steps.
And be prepared for rapid response if there's an algae blow.
Yeah.
As an example.
I have one other thing, I think, under new business, we should add the soil spill.
Oh, yeah,
And we should talk just for a second about
Sure.
that, because
yeah.
I'm sure everybody's there.
Is everybody up to speed with
Yeah.
Woodland Terrace,
Oh, not Woodland Terrace, no, I didn't know that.
Woodland Terrace oil spill?
Oh, I
Where
thought
you
you were
are?
talking, I was talking about Glenn Keegan's when his
Oh,
oil
this
spilled.
was, yeah, the hydraulic,
Yeah,
yeah, no, but, and Deep did come out for that, but that was minor.
yeah, okay, this is over Woodland Terrace.
This could be up to 250 gallons of oil, that
Heating oil.
heating oil, that leaked into 4 stormwater drains and found its way onto the lake bed and into the lake. I think you saw some of it on.
So
Route 7.
I know a little bit about it, I was over there, I walked, you could smell it was fuel
Oh,
oil from the thing, and
I could not.
one of the upper houses, had a leaking tank.
Correct.
And I was there when I walked by when the guys were cleaning it up, so they got all the oil out of the basement.
Do they know which house it was? I
The
still.
little brown one, I think one of Carl's houses.
10 upper.
Yeah.
Is
Right
it
across from
really?
you.
No,
No,
no, it's down the street.
10 upper.
Carl's house is down the street from his.
Oh, I don't know which Carl's house.
John Didworth.
The light brown house.
Yes.
And they were in the basement and they were pumping out what was left. And I
So the
talked to the guy and I said, I think what happened is they have a sump pump and it got in there and it pumped some oil out when we had high water. And he was like, no, that wasn't what it was. And I could see the wheels turning in his head. And I think that's what it was. So,
You mean,
Well.
you talked to the owner?
no, I talked to the disposal people that were getting rid of it, because I don't know if anybody's living in the house.
There is a person living in the house, it is not the owner.
Yeah.
Deep has to come in, it's a
Yeah.
state regulation.
Mhm.
Deep immediately placed booms, snake-like things
Yeah.
that soak up the oil
Wow.
and have replaced them once on Friday. And sucked it all up on, continue to suck it out of stormwater drains yesterday. Deep will issue a final report, so it will be a public
Yeah.
report. As to how this happened, what they did in terms of remediation. And possible further action steps. They could, say they will, say you gotta dredge that whole property and clean it up. They could say you have to replace stormwater pumps. Or they could say, for a period of X number of months or even up to a year, we have to look at water wells because it's a public health issue.
Well, there's a community well
There's a community well.
right across the street.
Right. And John Dewar has provided that information to me. So we have no idea if anything has to happen. My understanding from the deep guy is it's also state regulation that where this started is the responsibility for cleanup and cost is that property owner.
Yes, it is.
So apparently that property owner has already contacted their insurance. They were supposed to be at wetlands Monday night and they did not show up at wetlands. So we have no further, that's what I learned about.
So for my observation, this was only my observation of what I've seen, is when I walked by on the lake with those booms, there was no oil whatsoever, there was no slicks in the puddles all the way as it came down. It was cleaned up pretty good. And when there was a slick in the lake, it was only about 2 feet wide.
Right.
And it went like up towards Walter's house and Gates's house and then dispersed.
There was 1,000 feet we measured.
Right.
Shoreline, but it wasn't a huge width.
Yeah.
However, it made its way around apparently to Route 87,
So I was the one who reported it on, I think the wind blew some of it in on the right of ways on Route 87. There's, you know how the fish make the holes?
Yeah.
There was some sheen on like 10 or 15 of those. Which isn't uncommon because that can drain right from the road, and if there's a car,
Yeah.
it's not uncommon to see it there, but I hadn't seen it in years. And it was definitely maybe blew up that end of the lake and got there. That was,
It was pretty major.
that was the same day it happened.
Fortunately, sorry, Mary, you know, somebody that lives on with Lower Woodland Terrace noticed the sheen in the water.
Yeah.
And texted us.
Gary King, right?
No, Mike Apples.
Gary King's the first one I knew about.
Mike Theophilus.
Mike Apples. And then Mary texted Steve Everett and started the fire department was there within, but didn't
I
somebody
gotta tell you, I
said
was-
they smelled it for a couple of days?
Is Steve, I don't know, Steve did say this to me, when he called me back, he said, it is my understanding that this could have been detected 2 days ago because people started smelling it.
Yeah.
This goes back to early detection, and we need to advise the town that they need some sort of mechanism as to who you call. You know,
You could smell it a few days later. Sunday, I could still smell it.
I couldn't believe it. I mean, I walked over to the Lower Woodland Terrace storm drain and I was like, oh, what's the big deal? And then I went over there. I'm like,
Wow.
whoa.
Yeah.
I mean, this was what, 2 days later?
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
But we need a rapid response protocol. We
Yeah.
need to be able to tell people if you see something unusual or smell something unusual or something doesn't seem right to you, here's who to contact. In our CLA email, we said contact one of us, and if it was
because we're not
urgent,
on mechanism.
because we don't, but we need some kind of, and not sophisticated, just simple, you know.
Yeah.
It's who to call.
Well, does the town have an emergency
I'm not sure,
phone, like,
I think we should look into that.
you know?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I would suspect the answer will be the fire department.
Is there
Well, that's
a,
who showed up, right?
Yeah, well, Steve called them initially, and they immediately called Deep. And brought Deep in.
Okay.
is there a, like,
We were-
I mean, there's a lifespan on oil tanks, right? Is there, do they do inspections or it may only when something's sold, right? That you.
They don't even inspect the oil tank when it's sold, it's probably nothing.
I don't. I'm gonna wait for the report, cause I've heard two different stories about this oil tank. Yeah, one was it was old and they had turned it off and never took the oil out, the other was it was being used. So, I don't know.
Well, years ago, the Simpsons next to me, their oil tank blew. And Deep came in and they had to pay the entire cost of getting that totally cleaned up.
I mean, it's like, so it was like just a regular.
Well, it broke apart because it was so old.
In the basement.
In the basement, right in the yard, yeah, because you know the pipe, how it goes outside and you fill your tank.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what happened, and they had a sump pump down there. And it went all over the yard, it was a mess. It was a mess.
So they pumped, the sump pump pumped it out and then when it flooded into
The yard,
so that's kind of what I thought, I told
Yeah.
you guys, that's what I was explaining, I thought maybe it pumped out or something.
We should see the report when we
Yeah.
So we should add it to new business, so we
Yeah.
can
Can
follow
you add
up
that?
next month.
Yeah.
and See
I
what
would just
what
put
comes
in
of it.
early detection, rapid response plans.
Cause the one thing that does smell
Well-
is fuel oil, you're gonna smell that more than anything. If it was pure gasoline, it probably evaporates before it got to there.
That's a good point,
You
yeah,
know,
I was over there.
engine oil doesn't smell that bad either, but
It stunk.
yeah.
So. Well, I guess to your point, wasn't there something on here? I don't see it in open business.
We already talked about a rapid response
Right,
program.
right,
That would be.
And
But that was
it got rolled into the watershed management
Oh,
plan,
that's
like, no, and I said, no, it shouldn't be, because
cause that's
we
gonna,
can't wait for
yeah,
that, we shouldn't wait for that
So-
to develop this.
so I guess. Yeah, so,
you want a separate rapid response number to call.
well, just a rapid response plan. And I think there's two components in there. I mean, you know, we have hazardous material spill, obviously.
Yeah.
And we also have, you know, a invasive species.
Was that,
Right.
that
So,
was, that was.
That was the
not-
original, that was the
Right.
original.
Yeah.
That's a different phone.
So I don't know, somewhere between business and new business, I don't know where you want to put it.
Well, you're right,
But-
Mike, because we did talk about this before, I don't see it
Yeah,
here.
I
on
don't,
the
yeah,
agenda.
so, but if you could.
Yeah.
We'll put it
Phil,
into new business.
Fine,
Yeah.
put it into new business. Two things in a new business, follow up on the Woodland Terrace spill.
Yeah,
And two is a rapid response plan for hazardous material and invasive species emergencies or something, and you know,
I'll just put down invasive species.
well, invasive species, but I think we also need to consider another, you know, what other threats are there to the lake and
Algae as an example.
as an example,
Okay,
so
invasive
what are we?
Mike, wouldn't they be environmental issues? Just,
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
I mean, they're all environmental, but
Right.
what's that?
Health, safety and environmental.
Health, safety, environmental, there we go.
And
Yeah.
and I talked to Mark about the budget, I can ask him what exists currently
Yeah.
for
Yeah, and then we can follow up on that, but
phone
I,
numbers and,
But I-
you know, get his thoughts on how to start to. I
yeah,
could sketch something out and send it to you guys, so we can talk about it
yeah,
at our next meeting.
I would like that. I think we need a spokesperson too, right? You need somebody who's communicating the messages out, understanding what is the public relations there, public information.
Yeah.
Because clearly we're all hearing different things about the same oil. spill.
Yeah,
yeah,
And it needs to be
The tech is yet to publicize
right.
anything,
Right. Well-
other than we were asked to tell the CLA. Because so many people were inquiring.
yeah. Acquiring minds one.
You're right.
That's alarming.
I got a text last night from somebody saying, what the hell's going on? There's oil and
Right.
you're a week late.
yeah.
But
And at this time of year, it seems like there's a lot of people that may be out of town
Yeah,
wondering
There
what's
are.
happening to their property.
actually, this person was, he just got back.
Yeah. Okay, is there anything else that we wanna tackle tonight before Brave New World in January?
So do you wanna leave everything that's here under open business the same?
Yes. Yep,
Okay,
yep,
Okay. Feel uncomfortable, they all have to be in the meeting.
Moving the yearly schedule, well,
yeah, we can do that, did I'm sorry, you said something.
I sent it out to everybody, yeah,
Yes, so,
Yeah,
it's
Right.
fine. It's every Wednesday,
Yeah,
yeah,
okay?
There's no conflicts with any holidays at all.
No.
okay,
I sent it over to the town, so
Yeah.
it's okay,
sounds good,
okay,
all right,
yep. And I can take the bottom one off, the LMAC current members request a figure to be reappointed, that was already
Yep.
done,
yep,
so that's all.
Mike,
yes.
did he say when he's planning on doing these interviews?
Yeah, the 16th.
No, the 6th, December 6th.
No,
Yeah.
16th.
16.
Oh, so I'm sorry, 16th, you're right.
At the Board of Selectmen meeting on the 16th,
I'm sorry, you're right, Mike.
right?
Yes.
Yes, that's correct.
So he's meeting. These interviews are gonna be with every board.
In public,
Remember?
in front of everybody,
What's that?
Seriously?
in public,
It's not gonna be in an executive session or?
No,
it's in public in front of everybody.
they debated that back and forth. They wanted to do this.
So the 4 people that were already interviewed at the meeting?
No,
Sure. So when we have to be interviewed, but the 4 that are,
yes,
I don't know. I'm gonna be in Vermont, I'm leaving. They said they make a accommodation.
well, they were, if you wanna talk with them, if you need an accommodation, go talk with them. What time does the Board of Selectmen meeting start? 7th. All right.
16th of December or January?
Of December. It's Tuesday the 16th.
And is that just for the lake management or all the committees in the town?
As I understand, I don't know, I'm gonna leave it at that.
He did not qualify that,
I
I just said,
I haven't heard, I'm on wetlands. I
Yeah.
haven't heard anything.
no. He didn't say, he just said
But
on the
that's
16th.
lesson.
So we're supposed to go to that meeting
Correct.
Yes.
or be called up.
So if you don't go to the meeting, you're out, I don't know, just.
Right, I would say that,
I'm sure. Or Zoom.
Or ask him for an accommodation.
yeah. Yep,
I think what they're doing, see, I go to all the Board of Selectmen meetings, so I hear all the discussion, not just what's in the minutes. And I think they're looking for what do you bring to the table. And so if you just like if you've got a PhD in limnology for the state's telegram, if you chair a subcommittee or something like that, if you helped write regs, you want to know what you bring, what you've done, and stuff like that.
okay. Anything else before we sign off here? Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Oh, no, I didn't have a motion. That was a question.
You tell I haven't dinner yet.
Are you making a
You a little hangry, you a little hangry? Alright, so I have a motion to adjourn, and I have a second and a third and a fourth. All in favor? Any opposed? Good night, everybody.
Good night, Ann, take care.